Hey guys, welcome back to Ace Recaps. Today I am going to be explaining a 2009 Hindi sci-fi thriller film called Aa de Kanzara. Ray Acharya is a struggling photographer who has nothing going for him. The movie begins with him staring at a photograph having a flashback of a camera. The movie rewinds back to 4 months earlier where it is shown that Ray is broke and tries to start his bike but it doesn't work, so he is made fun of by the neighboring kids. He then manages to start the bike and goes to one of his family friend, but he's informed that his grandfather has passed away. A grief-stricken Ray travels to his grandfather's house. On the way he reminisces about all the fond memories he's had with his loving grandfather. Once Ray reaches the house he meets his grandfather's lawyer who hands him over a note and the ashes of his grandfather. Ray takes the ashes and lets it go into the lake where he has many memories with him. His grandfather has left him a model boat, so back at the house when he goes through it he finds a key and a photograph of a bank. He then visits the bank and figures out that his grandfather has left him something in a locker and that's why he's left him a key. In the locker he finds a bag. And in the bag is a camera. He takes it back home and thanks his grandfather for the camera as he really needed one. He then sets the right date on the camera and clicks a few pictures of the pigeon on his windowsill, the kids playing downstairs and of a new car. He then develops these images. The next day when he looks at the pictures he sees that there are 2 pigeons instead of 1, the kids downstairs are playing a different game and the car has broken glass. He soon realizes that the camera can predict the future. Any pictures he clicks shows the same person or thing in the future according to the date set on the camera. So, he decides to go around the city and click pictures of random things. He also clicks a picture of the winning lottery numbers. That night he also clicks a picture of his hot neighbor Simi through his window. The next day when he develops and looks at the pictures, he sees a mother and son falling off a Ferris wheel and someone pointing a gun at Simi who is a DJ. He rushes to the amusement park to save them but nobody believes him and they get on the ride anyway. While Ray argues with the people to stop the ride, the mother and son fall off the Ferris wheel but luckily land on a bunch of balloons. The next scene is at the nightclub. As Ray gets there it is shown that people are dancing and having fun. Suddenly a man pulls out a gun and aims it at someone. The picture just looked like the gun was being pointed at Simi. Ray still stops the gunman to save people from any injuries. He then waits for Simi outside the club and she offers him a ride home. They both get to know each other and Simi thanks Ray for pushing away the gunman. He even gives her his phone number. He stares at the camera all night and falls asleep on the couch. The next morning he is woken by a phone call. At the other end is Simi. She tells him to look at the newspaper which calls out Ray for being a hero because of the event at the nightclub. He then asks her out on a date. She accepts and Ray dances with joy. Ray then rushes to the bank to withdraw some money for his big date. He only has 300 rupees left so he takes all the money and goes to meet Simi. On the date he only orders a glass of water. Back at home it is shown that a group of men enter Ray's house demanding him to pay back his dues, but since he's too broke to do so, the goons take away all his belongings. Ray then goes to the lottery house to see that he's just won a sum of 50,000 rupees. He is so happy that he goes around all the lottery houses and makes a lot of money by clicking pictures of the winning numbers. He even starts betting on horse races by clicking pictures of the winner board. Ray keeps doing this on a regular basis and makes a lot of money. A few months down the line Ray is a completely changed man. He now wears a suit all the time, drives a new Mercedes and lives a very luxurious lifestyle. Ray and Simi are still together but she isn't happy with how Ray behaves. She says that Ray is not the same person he used to be and she cannot even have a normal conversation with him anymore. He then decides to visit his close friend of whom he clicks a picture with the camera. It is then revealed that his friend passes away the next day in an accident. When Ray checks the developed pictures he figures out that the picture is blank. Which means that if a person is going to die the camera will show a blank picture. Ray decides that he cannot live without her so he buys her an expensive ring and proposes to her. She agrees but says that she needs some more time as she just got a new job offer. Ray then decides to play one large hand and gives a lot of money to his bookie. That's when he meets a beautiful woman named Sophia. Both of them decide to go out for drinks. She invites Ray to join an exclusive private club called Swastika that requires him to pay 30 million rupees as a down payment and wants to make him a business partner. At the same time Simi enters the same nightclub and misinterprets Ray to be cheating on her, so she breaks off the engagement. In the meantime Sophia is seen snooping through Ray's bag and finds his camera, which she then uses to click pictures of Ray. He gets irritated with the situation, picks up his things and leaves right away. He goes back home to develop the pictures and is shocked to see that his picture is blank, meaning that he is going to pass away within the next 6 days. A worried Ray does not sleep and spends all night looking at the pictures and trying to figure out a solution to keep him alive. The next morning, a sad and terrified Ray is seen driving around the city. When he gets back home, somebody has already entered his house. When he goes in, he sees a gunman holding his girlfriend hostage and demanding to have the camera. The gunman calls himself the captain. He has been tailing Ray for the past few days because of his winning streak and finds out all about the camera. He even finds all the pictures which Ray used to win all that money. Ray decides to give him the camera to save his girlfriend's life, but when he does so, the captain demands him to click a picture and develop it so that he can make sure it's the right camera. Simi is so confused as to why someone would go through so much trouble for an ordinary camera, so she demands an answer. The captain tells her the truth, but she doesn't believe him, so he shows her the pictures. The captain then enters the room to look at the picture that Ray had clicked, but when Ray is about to show him the picture, he splashes some liquid on his face, locks him in the room and runs away with Simi to her house. There Ray tells Simi the whole truth and about how he has only 4 days left to live. Simi is grief-stricken but is adamant in finding a way to save Ray's life. So she clicks a few pictures of Ray and they go to bed. The next morning they develop the pictures and figure out that both of them travel to Kerala, but are followed by the captain, and in the last picture it looks like Simi is pushing Ray down a building. So they decide that they need to leave to Bangkok as soon as possible. Ray asks his bookie for help by getting his things out of his apartment and he gets on the plane with Simi. It is then shown that even the government is after him for the camera, and so they track all his movements. In the meantime, the bookie is tortured by the captain to reveal the location of Ray. The captain follows Ray on his flight and Ray is shocked to see him on the same plane as them, as they decided to change the location they were actually supposed to be headed to. His situation still matches the picture he clicked of the captain, meaning they still haven't changed the future events of Ray's death. Ray and Simi rush to a hotel where they decide to relax for a bit. At the same time, it is shown that the captain has also followed them to the same hotel. The captain orders room service, and when he's being served he takes the waiter at gunpoint, takes his clothes and ties him up. He then goes to Ray's room and knocks on the door. Ray is suspicious as he never ordered anything. He then gives the camera to Simi to go and check on the door. Suddenly the captain breaks down the door and starts a fight with Ray for the camera. By then it is shown that Simi has already climbed up the building through the balcony, as she is obviously Spider-Man, and throws a pot on the captain's head. She climbs back down and both of them run to the terrace. The captain follows them up, but Simi throws the camera down the building. She also pushes Ray down like in the picture and jumps down herself. They land in the building pool. They get out and Simi says that she knew nothing would happen to them, as the camera says that he has 2 more days to live. The camera is magically just hanging on some plants and Ray takes it and runs out. This movie has more plot holes than the potholes in my country. When they reach the road, they see a car waiting for them, and in the car is Sophia, the girl he met earlier. Sophia confesses that her real name is Bindaya and she is an agent of the Indian government, and they have been monitoring Ray's grandfather for quite some time as they knew he was building a powerful camera. Once he passed away, the case went blank until they found Ray using the camera and they started tailing him. She then tells them not to worry as they are under her custody now, and the next day her partner from the agency will come down to take them safely back to India. Bindaya takes them to a safe house to wait for her partner, Officer Puri. Puri arrives and asks Ray for the camera to help the country. Ray declines and says that he'll hand over the camera in India in front of the press. An agitated Puri pulls out his gun and shoots Bindaya and a police officer and asks them to hand over the camera. Just then the captain arrives and they get into a shootout. Ray and Simi get out and drive away in Bindaya's car. They are then being chased by a police car, Officer Puri and the captain. Ray asks Bindaya to take over the steering while he clicks a picture of the captain. They then keep driving and see a boat. They recognize the boat from one of the pictures they took earlier and decide to jump on top of it. Officer Puri then calls the agency and tells them that Ray killed Bindaya and a police officer. So now the whole country is after them for killing a cop. In the meantime, they are taken to a small pub by a group of people and they welcome Ray and Simi for killing a cop, as that's what the news says. And they then make Simi dance for them. After the dance, the cops arrive at the pub, but Ray and Simi have already escaped from there. They are dropped off at a bus stop and sleep there for the night. The next morning they wake up and see that there's a temple right in front of them which looks exactly like the temple in one of the pictures. Simi then agrees to Ray's proposal in the temple and they move on. They then develop the picture of the captain they clicked earlier and find out his location. They then come up with a plan. Simi goes to the captain's hotel posing as a prostitute. She gets the keys and gives it to Ray. Ray then waits for the captain and strikes a deal with him. If the captain can keep Ray alive for the next 24 hours, he will hand over the camera. The captain then gets a call from his friend who's a police officer saying that the police are on the way to his hotel. Both the captain and Ray manage to escape the police. Simi clicks a few pictures of herself and finds out that she gets arrested by the same police officer who is the captain's informant. The policeman is now working with Officer Puri and demanding them for a ransom. But Simi leaves them this photograph. Ray and the captain find their location and they manage to kill everyone. When the captain asks for the camera, Ray shoots at him, but the captain manages to shoot him first. Ray falls into a well. Simi then tells the captain that Ray was actually shooting at Officer Puri to save his life, but he shot and killed Ray for no reason. The captain looks at the camera and realizes that he shot at the camera while aiming at Ray and that destroyed it. The captain then walks away. Simi manages to pull out Ray from the well. Ray is still alive and realizes that the bottom of the well was so dark, and that's what the picture was portraying. It was not his death. The movie ends with both Ray and Simi on a plane heading back to India. This movie was hands down the stupidest movie I've ever watched. It made absolutely no sense. It was so difficult to write a recap that I almost died. LOL, that's all folks. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.